everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Go On, I'm Listening. I'm your host, Taty, and today I'm really a little bit too excited, which is why I'm on the edge of my seat, because I have someone here who, when I think about growth, discipline, and inspiration, this is the perfect guest for that. And it is my coach, Daniel!
Thank you.
Coach Daniel! What is up? How are you feeling?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to be on here. When you asked me to do it, it was an immediate yes.
Oh, shoot!
There was no question about it.
What? Oh my God, that makes me heck excited.
So I'm excited to be here.
Heck yeah, I'm happy to have you too. Okay, so there may be only like 5 people in this whole entire world who don't know who you are, and one of them is including me. So give us a little breakdown about who Coach Daniel is.
Do you want from the beginning, or like do you just want from the coach perspective?
Shoot, give me both. Give me a mix of both.
So just from the beginning. Daniel Gutierrez, born and raised in Castro Valley.
Nice.
Went to Parkdale Elementary School, went to Castro Valley High School, played sports growing up my whole entire life.
What'd you play?
Played everything. So from baseball, basketball, soccer, football, did a little bit of track in elementary school.
Oh.
And then in high school, just focused in on baseball and football. Played both at the varsity level. And then when I went to Chabot College after Castro Valley High School, just played football.
You played football for Chabot?
I did play.
That's crazy. I swam for Chabot.
Okay.
I mean, I did 100-meter and freestyle for like a year, but they didn't put me in the pool too much. So tell me about sports at Chabot.
It was good. So first year I redshirted. Basically means, like, to put it very blunt, like you weren't good enough to play.
Oh no! Is that what they called me too? They would say that to me? Oh no! Okay.
Everyone's story is a little bit different, but redshirted my first year. Second year played sparingly, and then third year was obviously going to be my last year there. But then COVID hit. So once COVID hit, had to find a way to pivot from playing sports to what I wanted to do. My dad was a firefighter growing up, so I was like, okay, I want to be a firefighter. Like, I just knew, like, after football, wanted to be a firefighter, wanted to just dive deep into that world and, kind of follow my dad's footsteps. But while at Chabot, I took a couple classes and I wasn't really feeling it. And I just knew, like, the thing with being a firefighter was that you had to be serious about it. Like, you had to have that passion, because those are people's lives at the line at the end of the day. And like, for me, learning about the chemistry of fire and learning about, okay, how do I put out a normal fire compared to a grease fire, compared to a car fire, it didn't spark my interest. So I was like, okay, I need to find something else that, sparked my interest. So I was really close with the athletic trainer at Chabot, Dan Miller. And I was like, hey, I want to do athletic training, because I love helping, athletes rehab. I love kind of just like the pregame stuff of, we got to tape someone up, getting everyone ready for game day, but then also kind of forming that bond with the players, like they trust you. So I did athletic training for a little bit, but then I was like, not really my thing, because I just knew, like, you do your athletic training at college, you get your degree in kinesiology, you have your 4 years of college, but also doing more schooling along with that, doing like 1,000 hours of, like, internship, and I was like, okay, hey, like, not really my thing. So that's kind of when I pivoted to personal training, because COVID shut down. So thinking that, hey, it's only going to be for a couple months, I got to stay ready for the football season, let me go ahead and build a garage gym. And then obviously, as we know, COVID just lasted a lot longer than a couple months. And then at the time, I was running sessions. I remember I put a poll on my Instagram. I was like, hey, like, if I had to run sessions, because obviously all the gyms were shut down. I was working at 24 Hour Fitness. That gym shut down. And then just put a poll up, and I was like, hey, like, if I started training sessions, like, would people take me seriously? And I had like 60% yes. Hella people voted yes. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'm going to just run with it. So then ran with it, and I realized I was looking at the money I was making at the time compared to what I was doing for football. I was still taking time away, because we still had our off-season meetings. We still had, like, our off-season, like, Zoom calls and, like, going over stuff, because, again, we didn't know how long COVID was going to last, so we had to stay ready.
That's true.
So then I looked at it, I was like, okay, this is my career path that I want to do? Or if this is not, then I got to, focus on one of the two. I was like, hey, like, this is what I want to do. I love personal training. I love helping people. I love helping people feel better. I just love having the ability to help people reach their goals.
Okay.
And then so from there, I quit football. I remember calling the coach, and I called both my head coach, offensive coordinator, and defensive coordinator.
What did they say?
Well, so the defensive coordinator was my academic supervisor at the time. Okay. So he was like, hey, like, great choice. Like, whatever you're going to do, you're going to succeed. Like,
oh, he's supportive.
Yeah, because he knew of the student I was, and knew, like, okay, I was strong in school as well. So he's like, hey, you're gonna succeed.
Be successful no matter what.
In kinesiology. The head coach and the offensive coordinator, they were both like, oh, well, like, if it doesn't work out, like, if you want to come back, like, let us know. But obviously, at the end of the day, they knew how hard of a worker I was. They knew I wouldn't make a decision if it wasn't right for me.
Right.
So then, like I said, did full-time personal training out of my parents' garage. From then, I worked at Orange Theory. And then about a month in, I got a call to be the University of Arizona intern for the strength and conditioning staff for the football team. So a month into my Orange Theory job, I quit and I left. And I went to go be out in Arizona for 3 months. From there, went back to Orange Theory because I did my internship, but then they wanted to keep me there. But I knew, I was like, hey, like, if I want to be serious about becoming a strength and conditioning coach for the college, I need to finish my degree. And they offered me a job to stay there, but they weren't going to pay for my schooling. I was like, hey, like, unfortunately, like, I got to finish school. I'm already halfway done with my degree.
Got it.
Like, I might as well go ahead and finish up my degree because I'd be a first generation college graduate.
Oh my God, congratulations.
Thank you. So went back to East Bay and went to, still was working at Orange Theory.
Okay.
And then from there, I did another internship at Stanford. So I was working at Stanford, same thing for the strength and conditioning team for the football team. So I did it for about 6-7 months. And then same thing that at the end of the season, meeting with my boss, who was the assistant, and he was like, hey, like, you're at your point now where, what do you want to do? Do you want to go strength and conditioning route, like within the collegiate system, or do you want to do your private personal training? Because I had shown them the setup in my garage, and I was like, because they asked me, same thing, my backstory, like how I got started. So I went back to Orange Theory, was finishing up my degree, finished up at Orange Theory, and then transferred up to Equinox while I finished up my degree from East Bay, degree in kinesiology, exercise science, and then that's when I kind of got the facility because I was outgrowing my parents' garage. Like I said, because I was still running sessions while I was at Orange Theory.
Okay.
And was looking at a facility and knew, like, hey, that's my next step, was to, if I want to, make an increased amount of money, make an increased impact on the people that I'm training, I knew I had to get out of my parents' garage. And to be considered serious trainer, I need my own facility. Because, what sounds better? Oh, come to my facility or come to my parents' garage. It's like,
you're right, of course.
yeah, go to the facility. So
they'll take you more serious when you have
exactly,
your
and
own.
just expand. So that's a little backstory. I know it's kind of rambling
No,
and stuff
that's
like that.
honestly,
So
I needed to know all that too because I honestly just hopped in and started getting on your nerves, So I'm like, I don't know any of your backstory. And I'm like, dang, that's kind of dope. But you've been through so many transitions and so many things that I feel like I wouldn't say it was trial and error, but it definitely led you to where you needed to go through those. But in those moments when you were figuring out, okay, like, do I really want to be a football player or a firefighter? What was it like for you as far as keeping your passion towards like the actual kinesiology and the fitness aspect?
I mean, it's just, like I said, my dad had always told me, like, you want to do something that you love to do. Like, you don't want to go to work. Like, obviously everyone has a job and people have to go to work, but you don't want to wake up and be like, damn, like, I got to go to work, like, and have that regret. And just knowing that I know I want to do something with the training side because I'm very passionate about training. Like I said, backstory, my mom has Parkinson's. So, like, being able to know that all of us here in this room are able to move our bodies freely without limitations is like something that we all take for granted. Like, and I know for me, like, as someone that, sees my mom every day, it's like, I know I take it for granted too. And like, just having that kind of, that's like my why. Okay. And my why is a lot bigger than just myself or how much money I can make, but knowing, like, hey, like, we all can make an impact and, like, positively change our lives and not just kind of sit here and, we only have one body. So we might as well take care of it. And especially with, like, the way the whole health world is working and, you go to the doctors and the first thing, like, oh, we're going to put you on this pill, or we're going to put you on this medication, or, you should do this, rather than like, hey, what's your diet like? How many times do you work out? Because I heard this great correlation that you take your dog to the vet, the first thing they ask, like, oh, like, how many times are you feeding it a day? Are you taking it on walks? Rather than, like, when you go to the doctors, like, oh, like, what's your stress level? What's your anxiety level? Like, oh, is it this, this, and this? Okay, cool. We're going to put you on this medication, rather than like, hey, you should work out 3 times a week, or like, hey, you should, look at your diet differently, or like, hey, you shouldn't be drinking as much. Just those small things. And like I said, just being able to have a deeper why rather than just myself or like how much money I can potentially make, or, just stuff that involves me and like, hey, like, I'm really doing this because, like, my mom inspired me to. Just know that, like, hey, like, we all can use our bodies freely at the end of the day without, any limitations. Like I said, I think that's the biggest blessing, waking up and knowing, hey, I can go up and I can move without thinking about it.
Yeah.
So.
And I feel the same way too, because even when I'm in your courses and you're like, Taty, breathe, I'm like, oh, I can just real quick. You know what I mean? Like you kind of forget because everything is so automatic. We don't think of the manualness sometimes when it has to happen that way. That's crazy. But I ain't gonna lie, Coach Daniel, it's hard. It's hard to just be consistent, disciplined, and all that. So how the hell do you stay disciplined and consistent on days when you like, bruh, I want to hit snooze?
Like I said, because how I touched on it earlier, it's bigger than me.
Knowing your why.
Knowing my why. And like I said, a lot of the people use that workout as an outlet. And knowing that, hey, like if you're going through something on that day and what you are looking forward to is like, hey, like I get this 1 hour to escape like reality and like kind of turn my brain off because, hey, I know I'm going to a coach that knows what he's doing. I can be able to go work out, be around a community of girls, especially for the ladies program or the strength and conditioning, and being around a community of people that like, hey, we're trying to get better. But it's never competition. It's always like, hey, I'm trying to help you out. Hey, Taty, great job. Or like, hey, so-and-so, great job. And it's like, we're all there for each other rather than like, oh, I'm here to lift this amount of weight and like, oh, I'm going to be macho person and, just kind of like, not belittle someone because they're not at your fitness level, but like, hey, like you're doing a great job too. Like I recognize you as well. So just knowing that at least for my work, it's bigger than me. For my personal reasons, like I said, the same thing. It's like my mom. It's like, hey, I have one body at the end of the day. Like I don't have any limitations on it. I might as well be able to use it freely, be able to use it to the max capability that it has to get up out of the bed each and every single day. But obviously there are days where I don't want to wake up. There are days where it's just like it's easy to hit the snooze button and stuff like that. But I just have to remember like, hey, it's a lot bigger than me. And I got people that rely on me. Like I said, whether it's the one bright spot, whether it's they're starting their day off with me with the morning workouts, or it's they're ending their day with me with the workouts, and knowing that, hey, like maybe they had a stressful day and they're like, hey, like I just need to relieve stress. And it's like if I come in like, we got X, Y, and Z, and you're just kind of like,
yeah, we feed off your energy too. And honestly, that's what kind of led me to the facility too. Okay, when we say the facility, it's the facility in sports performance. It's
facility sports performance. You're all good.
Okay, I'm like, you got it, right? It's a safe space for everyone that walks in there. I initially was bartending an event and one of your friends was like, oh yeah, I go to this gym, blah, blah, blah. And I live like 2 doors down from a personal training gym. And everyone's like, why don't you just go there? And you can't pay for community. You can't pay for genuineness. You can't, like, some things are just not accessible by just you walking in and showing up and being yourself. You know what I mean? And speaking from personal experience, oh my God, there's been so many times where I've left like, I've showed too much of myself, but it made me want to come back and keep doing it because you've always made everyone feel so accepted, loved, and just like, bro, just keep going. You know what I mean? So yeah, one personal experience that I remember, and I love that you said that, it's an outlet for some people because it really is for me too. Because I remember one workout that I don't even know what I was doing, but I felt like I was just beating the ground ass. Like, you got me fucked up. And you was like, Taty, who are you beating up? And I'm like, bro, I don't even know, but this feels good. And it made me want to come harder the next time. You know what I mean? So when there's times, and then you're around people who support you too, because they were where you were and vice versa like that. But it takes a lot of discipline to keep coming back, Coach Daniel. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. So do you remember a time discipline felt like exhaustion?
Yeah, specifically, so I marathon train on the side. So for me, knowing that I have, for example, last week I had a 20-mile run.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so just prepping for the marathon, it's just like, okay, knowing that I have a 20-mile run, like that's gonna take 2.5 hours out of my minimum 2.5 hours out of my day. Like it's just a lot. And all my runners can relate to this. It's just knowing that you have this X workout, whatever it is, whether you didn't get much sleep the night before, you didn't get, the proper nutrition you want the day before, and you run off food, but knowing like, hey, like this is part of my training plan, like I gotta get it done. That's what just leads to like, okay, like once, I always just say, if you get 1 mile in and you really don't want to run, then you can stop. But then by the time you get to mile 1, it's like, okay, it's not that bad. And then you get to mile 2, it's like, okay, it's not that bad. And then by the time you get to, it's like, okay, I'm already halfway through my run. I'm 10 miles in. I might as well just finish the rest at this point.
Hell?
Well, I mean, at least for me, that's how.
Are you cool?
At least for me, that's how I feel about it. Is that if I can get through 1 mile, I can get through 2. If I can get through 2, I can get to 5. If I can get to 5, I can get 10. I can get 10. I might as well just finish it out. So that's kind of how I relate to where it's like, am I exhausted? Yes, all the time. Like I'm not one to like fake it, like, I'm this macho man that's never tired. Like there are very much days where I'm tired and I just have to rely on discipline. Like, hey, like this is the plan, this is a non-negotiable for me and what I'm trying to achieve for the marathon, and I have to get it done.
Hell yeah. And I love that you touched on non-negotiables too, because you really got to set that mentally. Like, bro, I'm going to do this so I can do that. And I really feel like it's important to reward yourself in between. I have a problem with that real bad, like celebrating the micro wins and everything. How do you celebrate your micro wins?
I don't.
You don't?
So that's something I do need to get better at. I think it's funny that you had asked me this question because I knew you were gonna ask me something like about like how do you celebrate your wins.
Yeah.
That's like my biggest red flag is I don't mean to say this like in a cocky way or anything like that, but like when I accomplish something great, like opening a facility or like having a successful month, like with just the program as a whole, or like a field workout, it's like I feel a sense of relief because my expectations for myself are so high.
Facts.
And so like,
but that's a dangerous place to be sometimes though.
Exactly. So I don't really celebrate micro wins just because I expect whatever outcome or result, like I expect that from myself. But that's also, like I said, that's also my red flags because I put so much pressure on myself.
Oh my God. Did you read my diary this morning?
No.
Oh, I need it back. Give it back.
But like that's the biggest thing for me that I know that I need to get better at, and is just being able to celebrate those micro wins because, you look at a whole entire year and you wake up January 1st and then now it's already October 3rd, 4th? Yeah. Like it just goes by so quick and it's like, wait, I've accomplished so much in the year, but I haven't been able to celebrate it. So for me to, celebrate my micro wins is still some, I'm trying to do. I try to look at it in a grand scheme of things. I think my parents do a better job at celebrating my micro wins.
I love that.
Because
they're so proud of you.
Yeah, no, they go like, oh, we're so proud of you. And I'm like, oh, thank you. Like, I appreciate that. Like,
thanks.
I know.
Start feeling weird a little bit. Like, okay, like chill out. I got more to come.
But, they do help me kind of celebrate, my whole entire journey as a whole. Because, like I said, my dad was a firefighter. My mom was an accountant for Safeway. Oh, shit. So they don't know the entrepreneurial side. And so they don't know, like, the day-to-day stuff that I do. I mean, they do peep it a little bit when I was still living at the house, but they weren't like, okay, making the schedule every Sunday, texting the facility group chat, saying, hey, we have workouts this week, or just saying, hey, no, we have payments, or like making the flyers and everything like that, all the back end stuff, like making sure that rent's paid, the insurance is updated, and everything like that, or reaching out to new clientele and stuff like that. So they don't see it, but like I said, once they see accomplishment, like, oh, you got your program sponsored, like, that's awesome, that's great, like, can we cook you dinner or something like that, or like, you want to come over to the house? And I'm like, oh, well, sure. Like, thanks, Mom. Yeah, that's so cute. So like I said, that's something I definitely do need to do better on, is being able to celebrate those micro wins. Oh, yeah. But it's something where, like I said, I just set so high expectations on myself where I just feel like anything I put my mind to, I can accomplish. So it's like, okay, cool, I accomplished it. What's next?
I feel the same.
Like I get the ball, but I'm like, let me throw the ball a little further and let me go walk past. Like,
exactly.
So that's where I look at it as, I do need to celebrate it, but I just have such high expectations of myself.
I feel that so hard. And it's like, people be like, bruh, but you've made it so far. And I'm like, really? Like, it don't really feel like, to me, this feels minor compared to what I know or where I have a sense of where I want to be. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like when I get in the mentality of celebrating, I'll feel stuck. Because I'm like, cool, like, we made it, now what? I'm always on go, which is a good and bad thing. But at the same time, like, I feel like I'll celebrate later, Yeah. So I felt that. Daniel, you're around so many people every single day. How the hell do you deal with all that energy, first of all? Because, first of all, I go to 5 a.m. classes. So I'll be waking up like sometimes not feeling it, sometimes feeling it too much,
But once I put that Drake on, you feel it.
Period. Real ones know. But so what is it like navigating so many energies so early in the morning?
It's definitely a lot. Like, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say, it's a lot. But just being able to know that, how you said, like, sometimes you wake up and it just happens to be that day that you're not feeling it. So knowing to take kind of everything with a grain of salt, if someone comes in with a bad attitude or someone you can just tell someone's off, is like, it's not you. Like, it in terms, like, it's not me. Okay. Like, but just knowing that, hey, maybe I just need to check in on them. Like, hey, like, Taty, you all good? Like, you ain't bouncing around.
Yeah, because you had a couple of times you was like, oh, is you cool? But you didn't say that, but you was like, Taty, what's going on? I'm like, hey, chill out. People
around. But just knowing that when people come to the facility, it's like I said, going back to it, it's their outlet. Like, it's like, hey, like, I just need to escape reality for this hour. I just need to, get through. I need to release some frustration, stress, sadness, whatever it may be. But just like I said, just taking everything with a grain of salt, but knowing kind of that place, like, hey, if we're in between breaks, or like if you happen to finish up early, again, to use you, for example, hey, Taty, you good? Like, just checking. Oh, yeah, I'm good. And even whether they are actually good or they're not good, at least you did your due diligence of like, hey, like, he did ask me how I was doing. And maybe it's like, I'll get a text later on like, hey, like I wasn't good, but I do appreciate you for checking on me and stuff like that. Like I said, just being around a group atmosphere for so long. I said, going back to when I was working at Orange Theory and going back to when I was working at Equinox and teaching group classes there, is you can kind of tell the more you are around people, their mannerism, and like you can tell if someone's off that day for whatever reason it may be. That's why for me, I always try to come in with try to keep it as cool as possible, like never be too high, never be too low, because
That's true,
sometimes
very
if you're too high and someone's having a bad day, like
what's wrong with you?
Yeah,
Like,
like damn, I can't smile. Exactly. But then you come in with a bad attitude and it's like, what's wrong with you? Like, what's up with Coach
something's
Daniel?
off.
So coming in with that neutral, so kind of gauge the audience, but just knowing that everyone has those days and everyone is gonna fluctuate between good days, bad days, neutral, like, hey, I'm just happy to be here, like, hey, I just need to get through today's workout.
Oh, yeah.
So
Dang, you've gotten so many people to their goal weight, me included. Okay, I ain't gonna lie. Look at these guns, bro. I just had to take a second to just, this is sponsored by the facility. Okay, I need a permit for these guns. What's it like being around people and seeing their body change for the better?
it's awesome. Like I said, it's everything that I dream of, but just knowing that their light shines brighter too when they achieve their goals. It's actually funny that you said that. My cousin has been working out with me for 3 months. She's lost, I think, 12 or 15 pounds. And people at her work just know, like, oh, like, you look amazing, you look great, and stuff like that. And just knowing that I'll never take anyone's credit for their transformation, because at the end of the day, like, I'm only with you for an hour out the day. Whatever 23 hours that you're doing outside of the facility, like, that's you. So just knowing that I'm a small portion of it or a small factor of it, and just being like, hey, like, that's all you. Because I will always give my clients the credit. Hey, you ate the food that you needed to eat. You got the sleep that you needed to do. You drank the water that you needed to do. I just provide the workout, and I didn't do the workout for you. So just knowing that I'm part of that is, like I said, it's a blessing, because then they're like, oh my God, thank you so much, Coach Daniel. Like, I appreciate, your hard work, your dedication, your check-ins and stuff like that. So like, it feels good, because then going back to our small wins, it's like,
Right,
I did my job.
Heck
and it feels good, but like then I run them like, okay, like what's your next goal? And then they're like, oh, I want to stay at this weight. All right, cool. Hey, let's make sure that we're staying on top of everything, because a lot of people, they'll get to their goal weight, and then a year and some change later, it's like they're back to their original goal. Like, oh, I want to lose 10 pounds. I let myself go. Yeah. So it's like, okay, hey, we accomplished that goal. Great job, celebrate it right now. But what's your new goal now? Okay, cool. Whether you want to stay at that weight, whether you want to get stronger, whether you want to lose a couple more pounds, X, Y, and Z, whatever it may be. Just knowing that, hey, the goal is ever changing, but like, just let me know. So how best can I assist you on your next journey?
No, you're heck right. And I feel like as a coach, you have to set yourself available to a certain degree to people's goals and dreams. Do you feel like you sometimes get lost in other people's journey, or do you think that you have a clear, like, I'm here, you over there?
I mean, I do care a lot about people's journeys. If you were to come to me and be like, hey, like, I'm gonna lose 10 more pounds, and it's like, okay, cool, Taty, like, you want to lose 10 pounds in 3 months. That's very doable. Let's go ahead and put you on a plan. And it's like, we set this plan up for you, but it's like, hey, you're going out every single weekend. You're missing class. You're not giving your full effort. Then it's like, hey, Taty, like, what's the point of you even telling me your goal, but yet you're not going to follow it? Because the next thing you know, it comes to the fact that, oh, I didn't accomplish my goal because of Daniel, because of the facility, because a lot of people, they won't take accountability for why they're not achieving their goal. It's easier to blame someone else for why
I've been there before, though. I ain't gonna lie.
Exactly. So it's easier to blame someone else for your failures rather than look in the self mirror and be like, hey, I'm not accomplishing my goal because I was going out every single weekend. I wasn't eating the foods I needed to eat. I wasn't getting the sleep. I was missing workouts. But then it's like, oh, well, Coach Daniel wasn't providing a good workout. But yet you have a whole community of people that are coming and they're achieving their goals. So is it really my fault or is it your fault? So like, I try to separate myself too much, because then I start to get on people's nerves. Okay. Because be like, hey, like, why aren't you doing this? I remember one time I had a client and they were constantly showing up late and they were joking around. And this was a solo session. Okay. And I checked them, hey, like, none of this is funny. Right. Like, you're showing up late to workouts. You're not taking it seriously. You're saying you're feeling a lot weaker, but yet every weekend you're going out, and it's like, we got into, it wasn't even an argument, it was a conversation. Right. Where it's like, why are you doing this? Yeah. Like, you had achieved your goals from what you had previously had said, but now it's like you achieved it and you're content with where you're at. But yet you told me you wanted to achieve X, Y, and Z. So why are you late? Why are you joking around during workouts? And like I said, this is solo session. So you're joking around with me, you're joking around with Coach Levi, you're joking around with other clientele that's in there at the time, and you're not taking our workout seriously. But yeah, I'm the reason why you didn't get stronger.
Right.
So it's like putting them in check, but knowing like, hey, like how much accountability do you actually want me to be for your goals? Because I'll go out and above and beyond and be like, hey, like, what'd you do this weekend? What'd you eat this weekend? Like, are you eating? Are you sleeping? Are you, doing everything that you said you were going to do on your off days that you're not at the facility? Are you getting your 10,000 steps in? So it's like,
whoa, oh my God, actually, no, I got questions to ask myself.
like that's the thing is like, I try not to get wrapped up too much because then it comes off as like, I'm bugging you and like, I'm stepping over the line. So it's like, cool, you'll tell me your goals. I'll check in with you in a month and a half. Like, hey, how are you doing on your goals? Oh, well, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. Do you want me to hold you a little more accountable or you got it? Okay, I got it. Okay, cool.
I just joined one of your strength and conditioning classes too. And it kind of made me feel like, I don't think that I'm outgrowing the ladies program, but I feel as though mixing the two, men and women, it challenges you in a different way. Because obviously men and women bodies are different and our anatomy is completely night and day. But being around the male energy of just them being in their prime and then you being in your prime too, it sets the stage. But you can outgrow certain situations, especially if you keep yourself there. So when you feel personally it's time to level up, how do you feel when it comes to you outgrowing communities or situations?
Were in my head when I was thinking about what kind of question. Just because I had that thought today as well too, because to be very transparent with everyone and whoever this audience reaches, about 7-8 months ago, I was set on moving to San Diego, like completely set on moving, getting my bags packed and moving to San Diego within a year and a half. I wanted to move at the end of next year, 2026. So going into 2027 was set on moving to San Diego. I had to talk with my parents like, hey, like I want to move down there. I just feel like the fitness scene is way better for me out there. But just then that's when I started to get brand deals for the field workout. That's when I had Lululemon come and work with me. And I just knew like, okay, maybe I'm not outgrowing the environment I'm in right here. Maybe I just need to expand my horizons while still keeping the main hub in Hayward the main hub, because obviously that's my home. That's home to a lot of girls that come and work out and a lot of clients that come and work out, is they know me from the garage in my parents' house in Castro Valley to now the facility in Hayward. So it's like there is a certain sort of, I want to say like connection and like, I'm not sure what the right word is, but like I feel like I have to stay for my clients, just because, like I said, they've trusted me with their fitness journey. But just knowing, like I said, then they like I'm always gonna do what's best for me. But like I said, I feel like if you're kind of outgrowing an environment, at least for myself, is that's why I kind of take the trips to, like I said, go to the DBC seminar down in Carlsbad. I've gone to Miami a couple of times and kind of just getting outside of your own city to see what your industry is like in a different scene. And just seeing that, like I said, like the one in Miami is completely different from the one in San Diego. The one in San Diego is completely different than up here in the Bay Area. So it's like you kind of get like all of a mix of how the fitness scene is.
That's so true. And I feel like really putting yourself in situations where you can see the way other people operate, it's a humbling experience too, though, because it's like, damn, I thought I had my shit going on and you don't have nothing going. I mean, not nothing going, but not comparison. I feel like I hate when people say like, oh, I compared myself to this journey or whatever, because I feel like people can use comparison as fuel. It doesn't have to be like, oh, this person is doing this, girl, why aren't I? But it's like, oh, let me tap in to see how I can make myself better too. And being stuck within the four walls can sometimes consolidate your goals and just like how big things can be, like how much bigger everything is. So you're hella right. Vacationing and just kind of seeing other people's perspective on things too can broaden yours too. And I feel like I'm low-key outgrowing a lot of situations that I'm in too, but I don't know how to let them go with grace. So how do you continue to still show up for yourself in environments where you're like, okay, it's pending, if you know what I mean?
I always just kind of look at it from a back end of things of like, hey, let me remove myself from the situation that I'm in, and let me look at the stuff on the outside facts. Like I said, do I open up a second facility to tap into a different market, whether it's, in Pleasanton, Dublin, whether, is it San Diego? Is it stuff like how extreme do you want to change your place and, kind of reach new goals and new heights without being in that same environment where you feel like you're trapped? Or is it like, hey, do I look at the company I'm surrounding myself with? Is it so is it the people I'm surrounding myself with that I'm outgrowing, so it makes me feel like I'm outgrowing a situation, or is it I'm just outgrowing the people that are around me the majority of the time?
And I feel like that's a real honest question to ask because sometimes it is the people. And that's a hard pill to swallow because you want to take everybody with you and you want to be able to celebrate with the people you started with. But my friend actually said a quote that really stuck with me for real. Like, she was like, the party's always going to keep going, but the people at the party are always going to change. Or it's not always going to change, but there's always going to have people who are in and out. And that's kind of hard because when you grow up doing something or when you're so accustomed to just having things this way, that way, and then it's not anymore, it's a hard adjustment. So how do you keep showing up when the feeling is gone of that, okay, cool, this is new. I just met Coach Daniel. This is awesome. You know what I mean? Like, how do you keep having that momentum and motivation?
Like, just to tie everything in together, it just goes back to your why. Like, why
You
are you
keep
doing
saying
something?
that. That's so important.
Because, like, it's, for example, it's like how I can ask you the question, like, why do you still keep running podcasts if you're like, oh, like I just have to go through another podcast? Like, what's your why for doing everything? Because what your why is going to carry you, it's like same thing. It's like motivation comes and goes, but discipline's going to carry you a lot further, because, you know, one day you're going to wake up motivated, awesome, I'm gonna run 10 miles, but then, you know, the next day hits, oh my God, my legs are so sore, but yeah, I had a plan to run, you know, 5 miles. Like, well, motivation's not going to get you out of the bed to run 5 miles. It's the discipline of what you said you were going to do to carry you further. So it's, like I said, to always keep the spark fresh is like, what's my why? And I always have to, and I do have to remind myself that every now and then. It's like, hey, like, remember why you're doing this. It's not for yourself. It's not for the amount of money that you're going to make. It's for the impact you're making on people's lives and to inspire people to use their bodies to the most of their capability every single day. Because, like I said, it's not you. It's because of my mom.
Damn. Oh my God. I'm like, your mom is probably just going to watch this and be like, that's my boy right there. Because for real, that's how I'm feeling right now. Oh my God. Like, that's my Coach Daniel. Okay, everybody? Bring me to tears.
Don't cry.
This has just been so amazing catching up with you, just figuring out a little bit about you and some background and everything. I've been so inspired by you and your journey. I learn from you all the time. You get on my nerves because you always calling me out, but I know it's for the better because I know that you see my potential and what I can and can't do. How do you individualize everyone's potential and how far you push them?
I kind of look at what their goals are
Okay.
coming in, because I always tell them before they come in, like, hey, what are you trying to accomplish?
Okay.
And then it's always kind of off that first session of like, I can kind of see where their ability is at.
Got it.
And then for there, it's like, okay, can I push them a little bit more? Do I just want to gradually progress them throughout? Or can I just push them right away and be like, hey, like, I know you can do more weight. I know you can do
Okay.
this better. So it's like, kind of like I said, just going back to everything I've done, like, you know, read the room at Stanford, read the room at Arizona, read the room at Orange Theory, Equinox, you know, when I was working with Fitbit, and just like realizing, okay, hey, everyone's at different levels. Some people need to be pushed, some people not need to be pushed, but being able to collectively as a group, hey, we're all getting better together, not leaving someone behind because their fitness level is a little bit less compared to someone else's fitness level. We're like, hey, they've been working out for
How long?
12 years, but like this
Yeah.
person only been working out for a year.
True. And you really do make everybody feel involved and important too, because I remember that you guys were taking a group picture one time and I was like, no, they don't want me. You like, Frank, get your ass in here. And I'm like, okay, for sure, here I am. But you really are an encouraging person, and I feel like that's what draws people to you. It's just your like belief in everybody too. So yeah, Daniel, you got it going on, and I'm excited to see where the facility is gonna go from here.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Hell yeah. Oh my God. Well, thank you so much for taking your time out and sitting and chatting with us and letting me listen to you, giving me a little piece of what's on your brain and everything. Tell everybody where they can find you.
You guys can find me or the facility on Instagram at thefacility.bayarea. You can also follow my personal page at DJ_guitarist99. We have the ladies program, we have the strength and conditioning program. Like I said, all levels are welcome, as well as both men and female. Like I said, we got strength and conditioning, which is co-ed. We got the ladies program, which is all women. Women's program Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 5 a.m.,
Yeah.
6 a.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m. And like I said, strength and conditioning, co-ed, men and women, Tuesdays, Thursdays, 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. All sponsored by That's It.
Hell yeah. Let's get it. Wait, all of them are sponsored? I thought it was just the ladies
No,
program.
all
Oh,
of them.
that's micro wins. We celebrating that. Hey.
$1,000 in the wall in the bed and got it. Stepped on, got it hard, got it cracking on it. $500,000. I just did a warm up for $500,000. I can buy the building, I can rent it, I just save it for the children. I can get it, I give it to the villains. Somewhere they can hide when they do some killing. All of the
Well, thank you guys so much for tuning into another episode of Go On, I'm Listening. I am your host, Taty. This is my coach, Daniel, who the ones who gave me these good and thank you so much. I will see you guys next week. Bye.